I'm going to be real quick with this. There's no more time to repent. What is happening on earth is the beginning of a bunch of bad things. A lot of evil things. And I just got to say this. Do you really think that God would want us to call on a man that was found righteous, but didn't even create the world and the heaven and the earth? Why was Yahuwah's name removed from the Holy Bible over 7,000 times and replaced with Lord in all capital letters? I asked Yahuwah what he wanted me to read today, and he had me open my Bible up to Joshua chapter 23. And it came to be a long time after Yahuwah had given rest to Israel from all their enemies round about, that Yehoshua was old, advanced in years. And don't get it twisted, Yehoshua is not the Messiah. Yehoshua is Joshua. Yahusha is the Messiah. And Yehoshua called for all of Israel, and for their elders, and for the heads, and for their judges. And you have seen all that Yahuwah your Elohim has done to all these nations because of you. For Yahuwah your Elohim is he who was fighting for you. See, I have divided to you by lot these nations that remain, to be an inheritance for your tribes from the garden, and all the nations that I have cut off, and as far as the great sea westward. And Yahuwah your Elohim thrust them out from before you, and shall drive them out from before you. And you shall possess their land, as Yahuwah your Elohim has promised you. And you shall be very strong to guard and to do all that is written in the book of the Torah of Moses, so as not to turn aside from it right or left, so as not to go in among these nations, these who remain among you, and make no mention of the name of their mighty ones, nor swear by, nor serve them, nor bow down to them, but cling to Yahuwah your Elohim, as you have done to this day. For Yahuwah has driven out from before you great and strong nations. As for you, no one has stood against you to this day. One man of you put 1,000 to fight. For Yahuwah your Elohim is he who is fighting for you, and he has promised you. And you shall diligently guard yourselves to love Yahuwah your Elohim. But if you do turn back at all, and cling to the remnant of these nations, these that remain among you, and intermarry with them, and go into them, and they to you, know for certain that Yahuwah your Elohim shall no longer drive these nations out from before you. And they shall be snares and traps to you, and a whip on your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from this good land, which Yahuwah your Elohim has given you. And see, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and you know in all your hearts and all your beings that not one word has failed of all the good words which Yahuwah your Elohim spoke concerning you. All of it has come to you, and not one word of them has failed. And it shall be that as every good word has come upon you, which Yahuwah your Elohim promised, so Yahuwah brings upon you every evil word, until he has destroyed you from this good land which Yahuwah your Elohim has given you. When you transgress the covenant of Yahuwah your Elohim, which he commanded you, and shall go and serve other mighty ones, and bow down to them, and the displeasure of Yahuwah shall burn against you, and you shall perish quickly from the good land which he has given you. So all of you church-going people who have been calling on Jesus, Yahuwah has protected you all these years, because he knows in your heart that you really want to serve him. But he is telling me to tell you now that those days are over. Anyone who makes mention of other mighty ones, JC, Jesus Christ, Baal, Lord, any of those, You will perish. And it says in the book, do not withhold any wisdom from the people. So when Yahuwah gives me wisdom and knowledge about certain things, I have to share it with y'all. And what y'all do with this information is on you. Your blood will not be on my hands, because I warned you. Stop calling on other mighty ones. Call on the true Creator, the living God. Yahuwah is his name.